There comes a moment in every person's life when the noise gets quiet enough for truth to be heard. Not from the outside world, but from within. That moment is not loud. It does not arrive with fireworks. It comes as a whisper, a discomfort, restlessness you can no longer ignore. If you are here right now feeling that inner pull, this is not coincidence. This is alignment. For a long time, you tried to fit into spaces that were too small for your spirit. You accepted limits that were never designed for your destiny. You asked for permission when you were born with authority. And somewhere along the way, you started shrinking your dreams to match other people's comfort. But something has changed. You can feel it in your questions. You can feel it in your dissatisfaction. You can feel it in the way your old life no longer fits. That discomfort you're feeling is not a curse, it is a signal. Growth always begins with disruption. Transformation always starts with truth, and truth says you are ready. Ready to stop performing and start becoming. Ready to stop proving and start living. Ready to stop waiting and start moving. The last sign before your life changes forever is this: you are no longer willing to betray yourself just to belong. When your standards rise, your circle changes. When your self-respect rises, your decisions change. When your awareness rises, your entire direction changes. You will be misunderstood, and that's okay. You will be doubted, and that's expected. You will be tested, and that's necessary, because every next level version of you requires the courage to release the previous one. Do not wait for perfect clarity. Clarity comes from action. Do not wait for approval. Approval follows courage. Do not wait to feel fearless. Fear fades when purpose becomes stronger. Your life shifts the moment you decide that your calling matters more than your comfort. Listen closely. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are being prepared. Everything you survived was training. Every delay was direction. Every closed door was protection. And now you stand at the edge of your next chapter, not because luck chose you, but because growth shaped you. Trust the inner nudge. Follow the deeper knowing. Step forward even if your voice shakes. This is your sign, not to wish, not to plan endlessly, but to begin, because the life you are meant to live is not waiting someday. It is waiting on your decision today. Inner discomfort is often misunderstood, judged, and feared, but in reality, it is one of the most powerful signals of personal evolution, growth, and transformation. Most people are taught to chase comfort, stability, predictability, and approval, yet the truth is that growth rarely announces itself through ease. Instead, it arrives through restlessness, dissatisfaction, questioning, and a deep feeling that something in your current life no longer fits who you are becoming. When you begin to feel uncomfortable with your habits, your environment, your conversations, and even your goals, it does not mean you are failing, falling behind, or losing direction. It means your awareness is expanding, your standards are rising, and your inner self is refusing to remain small. This discomfort is not a breakdown, it is a breakthrough in progress. There is a stage before every major life shift where nothing feels fully right. What once excited you now feels ordinary. What once satisfied you now feels incomplete. And what once defined you now feels limiting. Many people misinterpret this stage as confusion, instability, or weakness, but it is actually a sign of awakening. You are outgrowing an old identity, and your mind and spirit are preparing space for a new one. Transformation always begins internally before it becomes visible externally. First, your thoughts change, then your tolerance changes, then your choices change, and finally your life changes. That uneasy feeling is the internal alarm clock telling you that your next level is calling and your current level can no longer hold you. Do not rush to silence this discomfort with distractions, entertainment, or approval from others. Sit with it, listen to it, learn from it. Discomfort carries information. It asks questions like, Where are you settling? Where are you hiding? Where are you playing safe? Where are you denying your true desire? The answers to these questions are not meant to shame you, but to guide you. Every successful transformation story includes a period of tension, doubt, and emotional stretching. Muscles grow by resistance, character grows by challenge, and purpose by pressure. If everything feels too comfortable for too long, growth usually stops. Comfort maintains, discomfort expands. You may notice that during this phase you become more selective, more sensitive to wasted time, more aware of negative influences, and less willing to tolerate what drains your energy. That is not arrogance, that is alignment. Your inner compass is recalibrating. You are beginning to recognize what supports your future and what belongs to your past. Do not label this season as failure just because it feels uncertain. Seeds break open before they grow. Caterpillars dissolve before they transform. Old chapters close before new ones begin. The breaking is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of the change. Trust the tension, trust the questions, trust the urge to move forward even without complete clarity. Discomfort is not pushing you backward, it is pushing you upward. It is the final signal that you are ready to evolve, ready to rise, ready to step into a larger version of yourself. Instead of asking, why do I feel so uncomfortable? Ask, who am I becoming because of this? That single shift in perspective turns fear into fuel, uncertainty into direction, and discomfort into destiny. Real change does not begin with a new plan, a new opportunity, or a new environment. It begins with a new level of self-respect. The turning point in a person's life arrives quietly, but powerfully when their respect for their own truth becomes stronger than their hunger for other people's approval. This is not rebellion, not ego, not selfishness. It is alignment, maturity, and inner authority awakening. For most of life, many people are conditioned to seek validation from family, from friends, from society, from culture, from expectations placed upon them before they even understood themselves. Approval feels safe, comforting, and socially rewarded. But approval can also become a cage when it forces you to betray your voice, silence your instincts, and postpone your calling. The desire to be accepted can slowly turn into the habit of self-abandonment. You say yes when your spirit says no. You stay where you have outgrown. You agree when you disagree. You perform instead of living authentically. Over time, this creates internal conflict, emotional exhaustion, and a quiet loss of identity. Self-respect interrupts that pattern. Self-respect says, my values matter, my boundaries matter, my time matters, my energy matters, my purpose matters. It does not ask for permission to exist. It does not beg to be understood before taking action. It stands firm even when misunderstood. When self-respect grows, your decisions begin to change. You no longer choose what is popular. You choose what is right. You no longer follow pressure. You follow principle. You no longer stay silent to keep peace. You speak truth with wisdom. This shift is the birthplace of real transformation. You will notice that when self-respect rises, certain relationships feel strained, certain environments feel heavy, and certain habits feel impossible to continue. That is not loss, that is alignment correction. Not everyone can walk with the version of you that honors yourself fully. Approval asks, how will this look to others? Will they accept me? Will they still like me? Self-respect asks, is this honest? Is this healthy? Is this aligned with who I am becoming? Approval is external and unstable. It changes with opinions and trends. Self-respect is internal and steady. It grows with clarity and courage. Approval can be given and taken away. Self-respect is built and strengthened. Choosing self-respect does not mean you stop caring about people. It means you stop shrinking for them. It means you offer love without sacrificing identity, kindness without losing boundaries, cooperation without losing direction. There will be moments when choosing yourself feels uncomfortable, unfamiliar, even frightening. You may fear rejection, criticism, or isolation, but understand this. Temporary discomfort is the price of permanent alignment. When you stop negotiating your worth, you start attracting situations that recognize it. Every major breakthrough in personal history begins with someone deciding, I will no longer live against myself. That sentence is the doorway to freedom. That decision is the engine of change. Self-respect also changes your inner dialogue. You stop insulting your efforts, stop minimizing your dreams, stop doubting your potential. You begin to speak to yourself with responsibility and belief. Your inner voice becomes a leader, not a critic. And here is the deeper truth. When you respect yourself, others eventually learn how to treat you. Standards teach people what access looks like. Boundaries teach people what behavior is acceptable. Clarity teaches people where you stand. Real change begins the day you would rather be authentic than approved, aligned than accepted, truthful than praised. That is the moment your life stops being a performance and starts being a purpose-driven journey. When self-respect leads, transformation follows. Many people wait for clarity before they move, before they decide, before they begin, but the truth is often the opposite. Clarity is not found before action. It is created through action. Waiting to feel fully ready, fully confident, fully certain is one of the most common ways people delay their own transformation. Progress does not require perfect understanding, perfect timing, or perfect conditions. It requires movement. Uncertainty is not a stop sign, it is a starting line. When you stay still and overthink, your mind creates more questions, more doubts, more imagined risks. When you move even in small ways, reality begins to respond. Feedback appears, opportunities reveal themselves, lessons become visible, and direction becomes clearer. Motion produces information. Stillness produces assumptions. Think about any major skill, speaking, leading, building, creating, farming, teaching. None of them are mastered by thinking alone. They are learned by doing, adjusting, repeating, and improving. The first step rarely feels smooth, but it is always powerful. Small, imperfect action beats perfect, endless planning. Action is a clarifier because it turns unknowns into knowns. Instead of asking, what if it fails? You discover what actually happens. Instead of guessing your limits, you test them. Instead of fearing the road, you walk it. Experience replaces imagination, and truth replaces fear. Many people confuse preparation with progress. Preparation is useful, but preparation without execution becomes a hiding place. There is a moment when learning must turn into doing, when intention must turn into behavior, when desire must turn into discipline. That moment is where change begins to become visible. You do not need the full map to start the journey. You only need the next step. Small steps carry hidden power. A single conversation can open a door. A single habit can change health. A single decision can redirect a career. A single boundary can protect peace. A single hour of focused work each day can build a new future over time. Never underestimate consistent small movement. Action also builds confidence, not the other way around. Confidence is not a requirement for action. It is a result of action. Each step you take sends a message to your mind. I can move. I can try, I can handle outcomes, I can adapt. That message becomes belief. Belief becomes courage. Courage becomes momentum. There will be mistakes, delays, missteps, and unexpected turns, but these are not signs to stop. They are signs that you are participating. No one improves by avoiding errors. Growth is built through correction. Adjustment is proof of engagement. Overthinking asks, what is the safest move? What guarantees success? What avoids discomfort? Action asks, what is the next move? What can I try now? What can I learn quickly? One keeps you frozen. The other keeps you evolving. Another hidden gift of action is energy. Taking steps creates motivation. Doing creates drive. Starting creates psychological momentum. Waiting drains energy, while movement generates it. Often you do not need more motivation to act. You need more action to feel motivated. Your next life, the stronger one, the freer one, the more aligned one, does not begin with a giant leap. It begins with a deliberate step, repeated daily. Direction matters more than speed. Consistency matters more than intensity. Courage matters more than certainty. If you feel called towards something, a change, a project, a discipline, a new standard, begin before you feel ready. Begin while you are learning. Begin while you are unsure. Begin while your voice shakes. Because clarity walks toward those who move, not those who wait. Your next chapter is not unlocked by perfect knowledge. It is unlocked by present action, steady effort, and forward steps taken today, not someday. Every transformation begins with a signal, a shift, and a step. The signal is your inner discomfort telling you that you have outgrown your old limits. The shift is self, respect rising above the need for approval, guiding your choices toward truth and alignment. The step is action, imperfect, brave, and necessary, turning possibility into reality. Nothing changes by accident. Lives change by decision. You are not waiting for a sign anymore. You are understanding that you are the sign. Your awareness, your restlessness, your courage to question, your desire to grow. These are indicators that your next chapter is already forming. The door is not locked. It is simply waiting for you to push. Do not measure your readiness by the absence of fear. Measure it by the presence of desire. Do not measure your progress by speed. Measure it by direction. Even slow forward movement rewrites destiny. Trust your growth. Honor your standards. Take your steps. The moment you commit to becoming who you truly are, your life does not just improve. It transforms. This is not the end of a message. This is the beginning of your move.